Hi guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this adorable octopus. So if you want to learn how to make this, stay tuned. You're going to need a size 4 yarn. I chose this because it's super soft and fluffy. You need some scissors. You're going to need a 4.5mm crochet hook. You're going to need one of these crochet needles. And then, of course, some stuffing. To start off, we're going to be doing a slip knot, and if you don't know how to do that, what you're going to do is you're going to take your yarn, you're going to cross over the open end, and then take the closed end and just put it through and pull like that, and you should end off with something like this. And now that's really big, and of course we don't want our knot to be really big, so you're just going to take the closed end and you're going to pull through, and you should adjust it to however much of a size you want, and that's how big I usually like my loop to be. I might adjust it later on as I place it on my hook, but that's how you do a slip knot. Now you're just going to put your hook through, and I'm going to tighten it a bit so it fits nicely on the hook. And what we're going to do now is we're going to create 2 chain stitches. So a chain stitch is basically a wrap around and then a pull through, a wrap around and then a pull through. So now we have our 2 chain stitches. We're going to make 6 single stitches in the first one over here. So the one closest to your finger, you're just going to make 6 single stitches. 1, so it's just a wrap around, it's just put in, a wrap around, and then pull through. And this octopus requires a lot of single stitches, so if you're a beginner, this is a great way to practice that. So I'm just going to make those 6 single stitches. So now we're just going to make 6 single stitches in that one, so repeat the process. So now that we're done the 6 single stitches, we have to connect the 2 ends. So we're gonna put your crochet needle through the first stitch you made, and then you're gonna yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through. So now it's connected. So now that you've connected the 2, you're just gonna make a chain stitch. So every time we finish a round, we're gonna make a slip stitch to connect them, and then a chain stitch. So for this next round, we're gonna make 2 single stitches in each stitch, and at the end you should end off with 12. Okay, so now that you have 12, we're going to do the same thing that we did last round, which is the slip stitch. So we're just going to put it through, pull through, and then pull through both. So what we're going to do for the next round is that we're going to do 1 single crochet and then 2 in the next one. So it's going to be a pattern. 1 single crochet. So I'm just doing a single crochet in this stitch. And then in the next one, we're gonna do 2 single crochets. And what we're doing here is basically just increasing. So what it does basically is makes your project bigger. And so now we're gonna be back after we repeat that for the round. So at the end of the round, you should have 18 stitches overall, and it should look somewhat like this. Okay, and then we're just gonna slip stitch again. So in, pull through, wrap around, and pull through both. Sorry, pull through both. And then we're gonna do a chain stitch again. And then for this round, we're just gonna do single stitches all around. So just like that. In each stitch, do 1 stitch. Once you're done, it should start to like curve a little bit, and then we're gonna do a slip stitch that, and then chain 1. And then for this round we're gonna start off with 1 decrease, just 1. So you're gonna put in your hook into the stitch and then pull through, and you should have 2 right now, but then you're gonna go to the next stitch and then you're gonna do the same thing again, and now you should have 3 in your hook, and you want to pull through all 3, and this basically decreases 1 stitch like that. Okay, and then you're just gonna do a single crochet for every single one of them. So we're gonna go in and just do a single crochet. For all of them, and we'll be just back. And now once that round is complete, it should look something like this, and once again you're just gonna make a connecting stitch like that, and then a single stitch. And then okay, so for this round what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 8 single stitches, and then we're gonna do a decrease and then continue with the single stitches. So I'll do this 8 single stitches and then come back to show you guys the decrease. Okay, so now that you've done 8 single crochets, for the decrease, once again, you're gonna do a single stitch, but then you're not gonna wrap around and pull through, and then put it in the next stitch, and then you should have 3 on your hook, and then you're gonna pull through all of them, like that. And now we're just gonna continue with the remaining single stitches. Okay, so once this round is done, you're gonna do the connecting stitch, which is, remember, just put it through, yarn over, and pull. Okay, so now that you're done this round, you're gonna do a connecting stitch, which is just pull through, yarn over, and just pull through, and then chain 1. So for this round, we're gonna do a decreasing stitch all around, and I'll just show you how to do one again. So you just put it through, yarn over, but we're not gonna yarn over once again. We're gonna pull it through this next stitch, yarn over, and then pull through, have 3 on the hook, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 like that. And now we're gonna continue that for the rest of the round. Okay, so now your thing should be like getting smaller on the top like that. And then once again, we're gonna do the connecting stitch. And then we're gonna chain over 1. Like that. And then for this round, we're just gonna do a decrease all around once again. So for this one, we're just going to do a decrease all around once again. Okay, so now once you're done that, you should end up with a really small hole and 8 stitches. And what you should do now is do that connecting stitch. So just like that. And then this time we're going to chain 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So once you have 8 stitches, you're gonna... Okay, so for the tentacles now, we're gonna make 4 chain stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then to attach it to the body, we're just gonna slip stitch it in to the stitch right next to it, like that, and then like that. And then we're just gonna repeat that process for all 8 of them. So now, once you have your 8 tentacles looking like that, all we're gonna do is we're going to chain 1, and then you're gonna grab your scissors and you're gonna cut that off, and then pull through to fasten that off. And and it should be closed off like that. Okay, so now once you have that, you're gonna make a stopper for the body, so which is basically just the first 2 rounds of the octopus. So you're gonna make your beginning stitch, so just like that, and then you're gonna put that in through and take that out, pull the piece attached to the yarn, put your hook in through, and then 1, 2, make 6 single stitches into the first one, so that is 1, and that's 2, okay, and then once you have 6, you're just gonna make sure that you do a slip stitch, and then chain 1, and then chain 1, and then once you've chained 1, you're just gonna do 2 single stitches in each stitch. Okay, and then once you're done the 2 single stitches, remember you're just gonna make sure to do the connecting stitch, and once you've done the connecting stitch, you're gonna, so now once you have your 8 tentacles looking like that, all we're gonna do is we're going to chain 1, and then you're gonna grab your scissors and you're gonna cut that off, and then pull through to fasten that off, and it should be closed off like that. Okay, so now once you have that, you're gonna make a stopper for the body, so which is basically just the first 2 rounds of the octopus. So you're gonna make your beginning stitch, so just like that, and then you're gonna put that in through and take that out, pull the piece attached to the yarn, put your hook in through, and then 1, 2, make 6 single stitches into the first one, so that is 1, and that's 2, okay, and then once you have 6, you're just gonna make sure that you do a slip stitch, and then chain 1, and then chain 1, and then once you've chained 1, you're just gonna do 2 single stitches in each stitch, okay, and then once you're done the 2 single stitches, remember you're just gonna make sure to do the connecting stitch, and once you've done the connecting stitch, you're just gonna chain 1, and then you're gonna cut the yarn like so, and then go through, and you should have something like this. So now that we're done with the stopper, we're gonna take our stuffing and we're just gonna fill our octopus. And this is basically my favorite part because it really adds life and tech. And this is my favorite part because it adds life to the octopus, and I absolutely love how full and stuffed it looks. And I feel like I think I got a little bit too much, so I'm just gonna get rid of that. And that looks pretty stuffed to me. So basically for any loose threads, I just took this needle and I just stuffed those in. So for the opening and cutting one, and that basically, after that you should be good. Okay, so now once it's stuffed, I'm just gonna take my stopper and try to stuff it in to the tentacles as best as I can. And this is just so it can stop the stuffing from falling out, and I feel like that's pretty good. And then that's it, you're done with your octopus. Now that you're done that, you've got yourself the cutest octopus ever. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Bye guys!